Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 24th of January. So, what we got going on today then? Friday. So we've had the interest rate increase. It did actually come with the Bank of Japan. No real shock there. Slight move of strengthening, but we'll see how that develops during this morning. Press conference. Well, they're starting, I should say. That's certainly something that's happening there. With the expectation of further increases if necessary or as necessary. So a massive 0.5% interest rate now in Japan, overnight rate. Right, from that then today, important data is the PMI data this morning. The French, German be the first ones out here, 8:15, 8:30 respectively. Need to get those out of the way before you do anything with the euro, I would suggest. And then we've got the European as a whole. It tends to move less by that point. The two powerhouses, if I can call them those these days, are there first. We've got the UK data there at 9:30 and 2:45. We've got the US data. In between that, we've got Lagarde speaking at 10 o'clock. Is she still okay? Still in Davos, skiing trip. Oh, sorry, got that all wrong. It's not a skiing trip at all. Okay, but we'll take our skis. That's it, really. Right. Not a great deal after existing home sales, etc., and consumer sentiment. Not so such a mover. Right. So let's have a look at these markets. It's the technicalities of these markets. Then we'll start off looking at the euro here, and as I suspected, it might move to the upside. Well, it's moving to the upside. It just wasn't trustworthy yesterday in terms of what we were seeing in the morning there, and then it got a bit whipsawy in the afternoon for a little while at least. It is looking now, it's broken the monthly pivot there, and if it can close up here, it'll be looking a little bit more positive as we run into next week. Trump's suggestion that they might not, or they don't particularly want to put tariffs on China, has been positive, certainly in the equity markets in Asia, and the Australian dollar has benefited from it. But at this stage, well, we're looking. There's a bit of positivity maybe running through these markets, and we might just see a weaker dollar in general. Getting into a trade at the moment, it's got itself all a bit mucky. It's already run through its R1, almost into its R2. Yes, it could carry on, but we could just as easily just see a further day of chop here. These early days are difficult. People want to see policies out, and then hopefully, okay, we're always going to be sitting there on the whims, but maybe not so much. The pound likewise is turning a little bit here. It's not to the same extent as the US dollar. I drew this channel on this rising channel, but it's broken the top of that at the moment, which suggests, well, it's maybe got some more to come to the upside. It is turning. Yesterday when it was sort of down here, it looked like, well, we could eventually see it roll, but not to be. Weaker dollar coming through. Again, very similar to the euro here with the whipsaw reaction yesterday on an hourly basis. It had that strong move up at 2 o'clock there, and since then, well, not really doing a great deal, and potentially just ending up in a range. We'll see what happens when the PPI data comes out. US dollar yen now still sitting in a short on this. It's in the money just, but this was a longer picture for me. It's more of a position. It's sort of happening. It's back. It's bounced back off its 50. It's one of those you get the temptation just to scrap it. Yesterday I was talking about it and saying, well, I've got to stay in it. And I mean, it wasn't that many pips away from being stopped out there. But the overall picture here still looks weakish, and if the dollar continues to weaken, we could see this rolling over and benefiting further. So it's just a case of sit, wait. Might be worthwhile in the end. but it has got quite a lot of support, as we can see off a number of time frames here, particularly that 50 and the monthly pivot. We can break through that, well then we've got better chances something more developing and perhaps more buyers coming in. That's yen buyers, dollar sellers. Australian dollar, well, benefited a little bit more through the Asian session, maybe, on the fact that tariffs might not be loaded everywhere. The price set levels, as you can see, high lows, high highs. Sorry, just coming back to the daily picture here. It's gone through its monthly pivot. It's in the same sort of situation as this euro was. It's broken through. It's just running, air kissing that 50 MA. Now we'll see what the reaction to that is like this morning. As I said, these might just come off a little bit before, if we get any continuation. They've already hit daily pivot R1, R2. Range-wise, statistically, it's pretty much done it today. It's whether or not it chops, and we'll see, as I say, see what these PPI figures come out like. US dollar CAD, they could move the markets quite a bit, particularly the US data later. US dollar CAD, still in this very tight range. There's nothing to be done, nothing to be seen there for me at the moment. You might get some occasional opportunities, and you might use the cross pairs a little bit more. New Zealand is very similar to the Aussie there. It's almost the same picture, nothing much to be seen or any difference, and I'd rather trade the Aussie than the New Zealand, unless I was going for the short side, in which case I'd prefer the New Zealand than the Aussie. But at the moment, neither of them setting anything up from that point of view. The dollar Swissy in this descending channel at this stage. Maybe we got more scope on the downside here. Getting spiky old bit of price action yesterday afternoon there. At 4 o'clock candle, proper spiky action. Looking at the moment now that it could be coming down. Of course, this was a Trumpism. This bit of movement. We'll see what happens going forward. Other pairs, just briefly. Euro yen's died really. It's got into a right old muddle on the owlies. There was some clarity up until goodness knows. It just I think the fear of what's going on with the yen here could see it coming back over at some stage, but not great picture. Other markets, oil, we took a short on this a couple of days ago. It's moving in the right direction. It's found a bit of support this morning. God, we need Trump to say more about drilling for some more, etc. It really helped when he spoke yesterday. We really got it moving to the downside here. We'll see how it reacts off its daily pivot. I haven't moved the stop yet. I might just track the stop down a little bit on this, reduce the risk slightly, but it's ticking along to the set downside. This is quite key, this daily pivot. Okay, so it's ticking along. I'm expecting this to come down further in terms of if more is actually pumped. I mean, it's not being pumped yet, it's only the rhetoric over it, but if it starts getting into the market, international markets, we could be seeing more of a move, so it will take some time. Right, although the futures will start pricing in that movement and the cash market will respond. Okay, that's pretty much it there. Let's have a look at these equities then. Where are you gone, equities? Did they like yesterday? Didn't they just? Yesterday we pushed into new all-time highs there on the S&Ps. In fact, we just blipped higher this morning on the futures here, but it's just pulling back. Maybe opportunities this afternoon to see how it comes into the pivot. It went through its pivot a bit last time, so just be patient if you're looking to buy into this. But at the moment, these equity markets do look relatively positive. Say relatively. For the Dow, was similar picture, by the way. I mean, it's really just been going. We had one down day in was that 10 days or so. So it's pushing on the same picture across the market here. It'd be nicer if it came back to the pivot there. Yesterday it was nice and clean into the pivot, and see if we can do the same today. something for this afternoon, really, from my perspective. The FTSE pushing back up again yesterday, and it's starting out that way at the moment. Still got a couple of minutes to see which way it opens this morning, but looking fairly decent there. And the DAX coming off this morning, a bit ugly on the short time frames, but on the bigger time frames still very positive here. It's right into its sorry, I'll just come back to here. It's the R2, weekly R2. It's gone through there now. I might just restrain it a little. We'll see how things correct themselves this morning. If we get them back towards their pivots, I'd be looking then, nice retrace there, looking then for a reversal signals to potentially go long. Right, I shall leave it there. So a bit of positivity today through these markets. A bit more difficult on the Forex markets. It has been a bit at the moment, but we've got news coming out this morning. It might give us a bit more direction with the likes of the euro and the pound. Have a great day, great weekend. I'll catch you Monday. Bye for now.